Alrighty, guys, welcome one and all to our playthrough of Scenario 1 from Panzer Grenadier KURSK, South Front. This is, of course, if you watched our episode 0, I guess, the first introductory part of it, where we go through the setup and the units. This is called Berezov Bound, 5th of July, 1943. It's a one-map scenario. The Soviets have the town of Berezov, and their job is to keep it and inflict as much damage to the Germans as possible. The Germans, on the other hand, are to inflict as much damage to the Soviets and take the town, if at all possible. It's a 12-turn scenario, and if we go to our turn track, it is daylight now, so current visibility will be 12 hexes. Initiative for the Germans is 3, 2 for the Soviets, and the game will end at 8:45. Dude, I am playing the Vassal scenario right now as well. Wow, you are? Are you doing it live? Why are you not doing it live? I could have come watched you play it, man. That would have been awesome. Which scenario are you playing? Which game and scenario you're playing? If you're playing this one, then wow. Like, really? Wow. There's a lot of setup that went involved into this, checking the rules on some things that I wasn't 100% sure about, and et cetera, et cetera. So there is some differences from this. Some astute people out there that watched this episode 1 might notice it's the second tutorial scenario. Oh, okay, cool. So maybe you'll learn something from me then. So those astute people that watched episode 1 will notice that there are a slight few changes to the setup here. Number 1 is these units here that were dug in. I think I originally had them in this hex. I decided to move them over 1 hex over this way, so I'd have better line of sight coming for any units coming from the backside. Same thing, I moved this one to be symmetrical, kind of over here, so if the Germans decided to attack from the south, they would be able to move their units up. Oh, you're in and out with the kids. I got you. So that is different in the setup for the Soviets. I did all this before I set up for the Germans, because I thought I was, after our episode last night, just tweaking things and seeing how I was gonna manage both sides. And the next thing is, you notice that the lieutenant actually got moved from this hex to this hex. Same thing down here in the south. I moved the lieutenant from this hex into this hex, because it gives them a lot more line of sight. And one thing I didn't cover in our tutorial is the off-board artilleries. As you can see, the Soviets have 118, and the Germans have 3 16s. So I wanted to make sure this here is a wheat field. These are fields here. The town, let me hide the pieces so you can see a little bit better. So these are fields down here. Here's the village of Berezov. Some more fields here, and then the few woods hexes up here. So when I was deciding what I was going to do with the Germans after I got the Soviets all set up and ready to go, I decided not to split our forces, because the Germans could attack from both the south edge and the north edge, or both edges, and I decided to consolidate our forces and just all attack from one side. And I decided to attack from the north as opposed to the south, because the Soviets decided not to put anybody up here in the woods. So we can maybe use that as some kind of advantage to our side. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. So if I hide the pieces, So that's the setup. That's my sort of thought and strategy about it. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative here. So Germans have +3 to their die roll, so they roll a 4 + 3 is 7. The Soviets have a 2 + 3 is 5. The difference between those is 2. 7 and 5, the difference is 2. You have that rounding up, which would be 1. So the Germans can activate 1 time, and then we will go back and forth in between activations here. So what is the Germans going to do? There's a couple other rules that I should be make people aware of when we go to do this. Number 1 is, because we're playing Kursk here, under the special scenario, the special rules for the south flank, which is the terrain. Was it under terrain? No, it was called mud. Where's mud? Let's see if I can find the mud rules. I just saw them a little bit ago. Where did they go? Where are they? Tank. Let's talk about this real quick. Another special rule, number 10 from page 2. Tank leaders and armor efficiency. All German tanks and all Soviet Guard tanks have tank leaders. Scenarios that feature the RKKA tanks. List the tank leaders available for those tanks. All German tanks have armor efficiency, and all Soviet Guard tanks also have armor efficiency, but RKKA tanks do not. The actual vehicle that we actually do is an RKKA unit, so this does not have armor efficiency. So it'll only be able to attack once. Mud, slow moving. Yeah, where is that? It costs... Where the hell is it? Wow, I cannot believe I can't find it. Why can I not find it? Where is it where it talks about... I don't think it wasn't a specific scenario, was it? Let me look and see if it was a special scenario thing, but I don't believe it was. I think it was... Oh, and no, it was a special rule for scenario. So mud, under the scenario special rules, add 1 of the movement point costs for vehicle units to enter each hex, unless this movement is along a road or into a town hex. So because of the mud, vehicles are not going to be able to get around as great as they would have liked to. So, brah. All right, so we are going to activate... We're going to activate the Panzer 3Gs. And because they have a tank leader, they can activate their hex and all adjacent hexes. So they will activate these SK7s as well. So we'll go ahead and move them. So that costs us 2, 4, 6. And in the Panzer Grenadier, half hexes are usable. In reality, the roads would probably be all muddy too. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to move that guy up to there. He is definitely in range. Question is, if these guys fire, then they will be spotted. Right now, they are spotted anyway. So, yeah, that AT rifle unit Has one firepower at a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. It could wait for another vehicle, but it sees this tank coming, so it's going to take a shot at it. So the anti-tank rifle. So it has an attack value of 1. Subtract the armor value of 3. So 1 minus 3 is a minus 2. So he's going to get a minus 2 to his dice roll, but you never know. Maybe he can get lucky. And he rolled a 9 minus 3 is 7. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some markers. So some game pieces here. No, I need game markers. That's what I need. So I can keep track of where's their fire encounter markers? Event markers? No, that wouldn't be it. Extension, documentation, assault map, retire, clear markers, forward holding, graveyard, game piece, up, game. I don't think, where's their fire markers? It's got to be under, no, those are random. It's got to be under gameplay. Why do I not see them? Smoke, am I just being blind? That's a possibility. Who's our control markers, or who controls? Huh. That's a great question. Why don't I see their fire? Oh, I bet you, right, if you right click on it, it'll say, oh, mark activated. Yeah. All right. So that's how you do it. All right. So that's probably okay. So this guy's going to be, he's going to shift A. He's going to fire. So he's going to fire. All right, so we go on. The next thing is going to move up is these guys here. They're going to be 2, 4, 6. This AT rifle is going to go ahead and fire again, so it will be activated, which means it won't have anything left to do. It is 3 hexes away. This time it's actually 1 minus 0, so it's going to be a +1 to his die roll. He rolled a 7, +1 is 8. Not good enough. Not good enough. You need higher than 9. This guy is also going to move to 4. Wait a minute. Did I not finish moving this guy? Hang on. 2, 4, 6. He'll go ahead and move there for 8. So he's in there. 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, this guy. 2, 4, 6, 8. He can't do anything else. 2, 4, 6. Let's go 2, 4, 6, 8. He'll be there. That's fine. Mark him activated. Mark him activated. Mark these guys activated. Okay. And then this guy's going to move up. He has 9 movement points as well. 2, 4. He could actually move in there. It would cost him 4 to move in the woods +1, so it cost him 5. But he does have 9 movement points. But he really needs to get it. Is this the AT gun, or is this the... No, this is... I think this is the... I get confused. I think this is the AT gun. Let me unnumber it. Yeah, this is the AT gun. Let me limber him back up. Yeah, I think he is going to go in the woods. All right, so that is their activation. They are done. Russian, what do you wish to do? They are actually going to start moving their units that are on the wrong side, realizing, oh shit, the attack's coming from the other way. So they'll go ahead and activate the captain and all the units in his around his hex. Ooh, excuse me. The 57 millimeter will limber, and I'm just going to pull those guys out. So, all right. So he will be with the truck, and the infantry and the captain. Let's see. That's a good question. I believe, I remember they could probably all move together in the truck, if I'm not mistaken, or the wagon in this case. Pretty sure they can. What section was that in? Could be anywhere. That's combat. Combat. I don't think it was in the combat section. I think it was in the transporting section. Personnel units may load onto and unload from a transport unit with the cost of all of its movement points. Yeah, okay, so it will also bloop, bloop, and the leader will also jump on as well. So everybody's going to jump on the old wagon and get ready to limber out, but that's their activations. They're done. So back to the Germans. Alright, so the Germans are going to activate this unit right here, and it is called... Good question. What is it called? It is called the Hauptsturmführer, which is equal to a captain. So he's going to activate his hex and all the surrounding hexes, which activates this Hauptsturmführer. So you can activate him and all of his hexes, and any hexes adjacent to him if he wanted, but he's not. He's going to choose just to activate his own hex. So this guy is going to activate everyone adjacent, which will activate this guy and all of his guys. So they are going to move, and you move guys individually. So it's going to cost 1, 2, 3. Do you want to shoot him? Do we want to shoot? You only get to opportunity fire twice. They see a big army headed their way, so they might as well shoot, I guess. I mean, they're going to be able to... I mean, they won't get to... It's not going to help them any to wait. Like, if the next guy moves up here, 1, 2, 3, and then the leader... and the leader and the guy move up 1, 2, 3. When they do that, they still only attack the units that's moving, even if there's other units in the hex. So the question is, do they want to activate to do that? Better. You never know what's going to happen. Better do it while you can. So. Range of 2, range of 3. He's got 5, 6, 7 firepower. Plus 1 for the lieutenant's 8 firepower. So if we go to our direct fire table, it's going to be 7 firepower. Alright. Okay. Alright. No. I think there's... you get a bonus for opportunity fire. Yeah. So you got a +1 column shift for opportunity fire. I'm trying to think if anything else would apply. The target is not 3 or more hexes away. It's only 2 hexes away. So it's going to go up to the 11 column. So let's roll on the 11 column. And he rolled a 7. That's like the worst number you can roll in Panzer Grenadier is 7, because all the charts are based on. So on the 11 column, you can see 7 is a big fat squat. So that is going to. All these guys will cycle. Oh, opportunity fire. There we go. Oh, that's even better. I like this module even more now. So it shows 2 little things on it. And now if we highlight them and do it again, what happens? Oh, yeah, that's perfect. All right. There we go. Let's try again. So there you go. So it shows they all opportunity fired once. All right. I'm just going to move these guys out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Do you want to shoot again? Yep, might as well. Same thing. Shoot. On the 11 column, they rolled a 5. On the 11 column, 5 is going to be, actually a morale check. So that unit will have to make a morale check. Again, the morale, where is our turn track, is 8 for full strength units and 6 for reduced units. So the Germans have an 8 morale. He doesn't have any leader in the hex right now. That's probably dumb of me. I probably should have moved the leader first. That makes more sense. So that way he would have had the bonus. So, Oh, thanks, Tony. Was somebody being a dumbass? Okay. Well, let's just hide this user and all his stupid comments. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that, buddy. Hey, Private Public, how you doing? Good to see you. Dave's Gaming Cave, how you guys doing? So, snazoo. You can go snazoo away. So he's got to make a morale check. So 8 or less, and he's fine. And we roll the dice, and he rolls a 5. So he's fine. So we can opportunity fire these guys again. And they... Oh, that's not what I meant to do at all. I want to just mark them activated, dummy. There you go. So these guys have activated. They can't do anything anymore. And so now the leader can mosey on up there. This heavy machine gun can actually shoot at this guy because he actually has a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And units, friendly units actually block line of sight and attacks in Panzer Grenadier, which is unusual because most tactical games that doesn't happen. The only unit it does not affect is actually heavy machine guns, because the heavy machine guns are set up to shoot over the units in front and kind of arc their bullets down into the enemies that are, these are 250 meter hexes, so this is like 750 meters away, so you got to arc your bullets anyways. So the heavy machine guns can actually shoot over their own units to do an attack. But I think he's going to wait and see if anybody gets into prime territory, because obviously he's going to get a column shift loss for shooting at a unit that's 3 hexes away. He wants to see if anybody shows up. The size of these units are, let's see. Size of the units are platoons. And I'm trying to remember what they say in the rule book here about the size of them. Let's see. I forget this number. Oh, here it is. Units represent infantry platoons between 50 and 40 men. Crews served weapon batteries and platoons but 16 to 28 men and between 2 and 4 weapons. And vehicle platoons, which are usually 3 to 5 vehicles. Leaders represent individuals, and aircrafts represent 3 to 12 aircrafts. Yeah. So yeah, between 15 and 40 men for regular platoon at full strength. All right. Again, because of subordinate leader activation, we can go ahead and activate this, and we're going to learn from our mistake. 1, 2, 3, and this leader is going to go with them, so we're going to have the leader there first. He can shoot 1, 2, 3 again. Kind of at the edge of his, when you do that -1, so column shift when you're 3 or more hexes away, just because they're pretty far. I guess let's see, what is the map? Is each turn represents about 15 minutes of real time. Each hex is 200 meters across. So you're talking, 2, 4, 600 meters away. So quite a distance, even though they're like right there, right? So let's click on this to bring it back up forward. So they are not choosing to do anything, and I'm just going to go ahead for speed. You're supposed to move, you're supposed to move units individually, so I'll do it. 1, 2, 3. You want to shoot? No. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Okay. And so that's the German impulse. The Soviets will activate this guy here. He only has 2 movement points. It's going to cost 2 movement points to move there. He's going to start moving that way. So we'll cycle him mark him activated. There we go. Back to the Germans. So this what is this guy called again? Trying to get their terminology down again. Ostromführer. He is going to go ahead and activate. Well, any hex can activate, so it doesn't matter. The only time you really need to activate a leader is when you're going to activate units in an adjacent hex. But in this case, it's just going to self-activate the hex. And we got 3 mortar units, and they're all going to move up. And that costs 1 movement point. How much does it cost to move into the woods here? So foot units are the first. The woods, it's going to cost 2. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Sorry. Let me undo that because I have a brilliant idea, right? So for the Germans' activation, we'll just take that guy off. We're just going to activate this leader right here, the one on top, the what is he called? Obstromführer. Obstromführer is going to activate just himself. You can activate individual units. You can activate his hex. You can activate a leader and that hex and all adjacent hexes. So just that one leader, and he's going to move by himself. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. Leaders have 4 movement points. So he can actually move farther than this stack because they only can move 2 movement points. So he wants to get into the hex there. So this guy could actually shoot him 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away if he wanted to. Is he choosing to do that? Yes or no is the question, and I think he will say no. These guys should have been marked and activated because they already moved. These guys should all be marked activated because they already moved. All right. So do you wish to shoot him? No? All right, fine. I will just mark you activated. Now, back to the Soviets. What are you going to do? All right, these guys here. They're going to go... He says, he hears reports on the radio about, is it muddy in the woods too? It's not. Mud only affects vehicles. It does not affect. It does not affect infantry units. It says mud. Add 1 to the movement point cost for vehicle units to enter each hex. Foot units are not affected by this rule. So the only thing that'll be affected is anything vehicles wise. Good question though, Mike. Thanks for asking. I guess maybe I didn't explain that very well. So Soviets are going to activate the lieutenant and the infantry unit. So we're going to self-activate this hex. And we'll go 2 and 3 to go in there. And we'll mark these guys as activated. Oops, maybe if I can highlight them. Marked as activated. There you go. All right, back to the Germans. Germans. Oh, what are the Germans going to do now? What are the Germans going to do? Let's see, what is this? Yes, we're going to go ahead and once again, this guy, which is called the... I'm going to have to keep looking this up, it looks like, because I'm never going to get him down. Hauptsturmführer is going to activate himself and all adjacent hexes, which will activate this guy here, which is the... I'm sorry, no, it'll be this guy that has to activate. This is the big boy guy. This is the Colonel Stradentenführer. He'll activate. He is the Colonel. He's the big boy on the map. So if he dies, oh, that would be bad. And all adjacent hexes, which will activate this Hauptsturmführer. And these guys are simply going to go 1. Where are these guys going to go? Because they can only move 2 as well. You know what? They're going to go 1, 2. Yeah, they're going to go there. And we'll mark them activated. All right, back over to the Soviets. The Soviets say, this is not great. Do we come out of our little dugout over here? They have reports that there's there are tanks coming in from the west. So this guy here, this Grant, is going to activate. And he's going to lose his digging status, but that's all right. Spankenführer. They don't. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. They lose their digging status. Correct, Amundu. I thought the game was smart enough to know if I moved them to get rid of that, but I guess not. But you are absolutely correct on that. Which guy here is dug in? This guy? Where is it? Where is it? That one. All right. You are absolutely correct on that. They do lose their digging status when they move. We're going to... We're going to go ahead and activate this guy. 1, because he's going along a road, he doesn't cost any extra movement points, only non-road hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going to move up there, and he'll be done. How long does it take to dig in? It takes first turn. It takes your whole movement to dig in. And you put a 1 marker on it. And then at the end of your second turn, so you can see, like if we look at this unit right here. So the first time you do it, you cycle digging in. Where is it? Down here. So it'll show that they're digging in. And then the next time, they're dug in. So it basically takes like 2 activations to do it. Good question, though. Good question. So that was the Soviets activation. Now back over to, and we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, out of his range of range of fire. He can only shoot 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So too far away. But our guys actually have a range of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to mark these guys activated. Done. Back over to the Soviets. The only questionable people, I guess, would be this one. So we might as well move them. So we will move them, yes. All right, so we'll activate this hex. We're going to get rid of their... Ah, come on. No. Digging in. Ah, God damn it. There we go. All right, they were there, I believe. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. So we're going to move 1, 2. They can leave the ATR rifle behind and keep moving. The problem is, anytime you move, you have to be activated by a leader to combat move, which means move towards an enemy unit that can shoot you in the face. So, right now, no one's in range to shoot them in the face, but better to leave them activated together. So they're done. Back to the Germans. All right, Germans have a swarm of dudes still ready to come on the map, as you can see. So once again, the Hopstrumfuhrer is going to activate, which will activate this Scharführer, which is basically a sergeant. So he is a captain who's going to order the lieutenant and the sergeant. So all 3 of these hexes will activate. We'll go ahead and activate these guys first. So 1, 2. So now 1, 2, 3. So the Soviet player has to think, do I take my shot now, or is anybody going to come closer? Anybody going to come closer? It's got a lot of units left to move. But these guys all have 3 movement points, right? So he can go 1, 2, 3, and that would only be 2 X's away, so he wouldn't take that penalty. Is this a typical Panzer Grenadier scenario size, or is this on the large size? This is actually probably on the... I would say if you were to take and rate it from 1 to 10, 10 being like the most units, and then 1 being the least amount of units in the scenario, I would say this is probably about a 4. There is a lot of scenarios that are a lot bigger than this one. This is not that difficult. There's not that many vehicles. Sometimes you'll have maybe anywhere between 6 to 10 different vehicles and 6 to 10 different mortar / AT guns and multiple platoons. So, yeah, so the rest of these guys, so yeah, we're debating the heavy machine gun's going to hold fire. He's being brave. So next guy moves up, this guy moves up, and we can activate them. As the Soviet decides, no, I'm going to wait for a juicy target. Because he can always fire. He can always activate himself and fire. He doesn't have to opportunity fire. Back over to the Soviet player. The Soviet player says, I see what you're up to. I'm not very fond of that. Not at all. Hmm. So this hex has been spotted. This hex actually hasn't been spotted yet because it hasn't fired and it's in limited terrain. So that's what's important about this terrain here. Not so much the defensive bonus. But in Panzer Grenadier, you cannot shoot an enemy unless you're within 3 spaces of it or it's been spotted. So, like, if it's out in the open or whatever. So, none of the Germans back here even know this guy exists. This guy does, because he's within 3 hexes. This guy does. And this guy does. But none of these guys back here actually know that he exists. So the Soviets, what are you going to do, Mr. Soviets? I think they're going to pass. They're going to wait and see what the Germans is. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're still in the middle of moving. Right. It's not up to them yet. So the Hauptsturmführer is going to go 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's happened. Yes, it has. Oh, boy. Here we go. Opportunity fire. So the heavy machine gun just waited on the right opportunity and somebody took the bait. Somebody took the bait. Hey, what's going on there, Matt White? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. So we're going to have an opportunity fire here from the heavy machine gun. 8 firepower. A opportunity fire. So it's going to go from the direct fire table. There we are. From the 7 to the 11 column. So we're on the 11 column. Let's see what he can do. He rolls a 9. 9 on the 11 column is going to be a round check. So that unit will need to make a round check. So, leader first. He has a morale of 9. So, leaders have their own morale, not the morale of the actual units. So, you can see here. German units have a morale of 8 when they're full strength, 6 when they're not full strength. Leaders don't use that. They use their own morale. So this unit has a morale of 9. Let's see what he gets. He rolls an 8, so he's fine. Now he can add his morale modifier to the unit. So normally he's an 8 plus 1 because of this Hauptsturmführer. So he goes up to a 9. So this unit's a 9 now. He rolls a 7. So these guys are just fine. Nothing happened to them. And they will be done. Mark activated. All right, these guys through subordinate activation. He will go 1. He will go 2. Do us to shoot again? Yes or no? He could move there because he actually has a movement point left. So, does the heavy machine gun go, you know what? Nope, he's not going to risk it. He's going to take a shot. So he's going to go ahead and fire. So he'll be done after this. So this unit, the only target that gets affected with opportunity fire is the moving one. So I'm just going to put him over here. And even though, well, no, I better not. You guys might get confused. So the engineer there that's moving up, he has a morale of 8. But he can get a bonus from any leader in his hex or an adjacent hex. So either the Obersturmführer over here can help him out, or this Hauptsturmführer, the captain or the lieutenant. Either one of them, we're going to give him a bonus of 1. So instead of an 8, he's a 9. Oh, he rolled an 11. Oh, no. The engineer unit, not happy. We have our first. Well, let's see here. Cycle morale. There we go. So he's disrupted. He is now disrupted. And I believe he has to stop his movement, even if he was going to continue moving. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check the rule real quick on that. Pretty sure that if you become disrupted while you're moving, you have to stop. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Yeah. We don't need that. Let's see. It's going to be in morale, section 16 of the rule book. What? Nope, not 16. What's 16? Special rules are 16. 14. I knew it was somewhere around there. 14 is morale. Yeah. So no, I think he's done because when you're disrupted, you can only move 1 hex. So he's already moved 2 hexes, so he's done. So, I have our first casualty. That's crazy. And this guy's done activated, so this guy can now move up. He will move up 1. 2, and he will actually stop. Again, because friendly units, right? So if I was to continue these guys moving, right? And we wanted to put some firepower on this hex here, well, this unit's going to block our attacks coming in on it. So that would be kind of dumb. So he's actually going to stop right there. Nobody else has any activations. They're all done. So it appears to be about a battalion of troops on each side. Yeah, one of the cool things Panzer Grenadier does is it gives you the setup information in the book and the historical context and blah, blah, blah. And it actually says for this one here, it says, this is the opening of Operation Citadel. Found the SS Reichsdeutschland Division tasked with subduing the small village of Berezov, located just inside enemy lines, picking their way carefully through the many enemy minefields and park fronts to reach the village. The Germans encountered a battalion of guardsmen supported by the 3rd Battery of the 1008th Anti-Tank Regiment. So yeah, it kind of gives you an overview of how many units and the general gist of how many enemies were, you're going to be fighting against. I guess I could mark these guys. God damn it. The one problem I just not a big fan of with Vassal. I love Vassal, but sometimes it can be a real pain in the booties. All right, back to the Russian side. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, you might ask? Well, you know what he's going to do? He's going to call down some firepower. So this lieutenant right here obviously can spot these guys in that hex right there. Can obviously spot them. So we have some mortars back here. He's calling in some mortar support. 82 millimeters. They have 8 firepower, range of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hexes away. So they're within range. So they can combine their firepower in the same hex. So it's going to be 16 barrages. Are going to go ahead. You can do it individually or you can combine them. But he's going to go ahead and combine them into one attack. So we're going to be on these 16 column. Let's see if there's any other modifiers. Town or entrenchment? No. Beach, jungle? No. Dug-in? No. Target is a mortar, anti-aircraft, anti-tank gun, cavalry unit, or artillery unit? No. Friendly fire? No. So anytime in this game you have an attack and you have adjacent friendly units, you have a chance of hitting these units as well. Is it a loaded truck, a prime mover, a wagon, a sledge? No. Target hex is fired on when spotting 1 or 2 hexes? No. No. Efficiency fire. Unit moved or will move this turn. That's an optional rule. I don't ever remember that. Must be something new, so I'm not going to use it. Minefields, no. The target hex is spotted by the friendly hex. It is not. Is it? Actually. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it is actually can be spotted by these guys here. This is just limited terrain. So all that does is cause people to not be able to see into it farther than 3 hexes away. Doesn't have any other effect in the game, I believe. There's like no modifiers or anything for shooting into it or anything like that. So you will actually go up a column because they can actually see it. And they'll go up a column because there are 3 combat units in that hex. You can see there is 3 combat units, 3 engineers. Well, 2 engineers and a whatever the hell they're called. All right, so now the question is, because of the 2 column modifiers, we can take an 8 and make it a 16, and another 8 and make it another 16, or we can take our 16 and make it a 30. Do we want to do 1 big attack, or do we want to take 2 in case we get like a really crappy roll? Because even on 30 attack, if we roll a 7, which is obviously the most common number when you roll 2 d6s, you're going to miss. So if you put all your eggs in one basket, it could end up pretty crappy. Tony says go for the 30. Of course Tony says go for the 30. All right, we're going for the 30. We're going to listen to Tony. He probably knows what he's talking about. He probably knows what he's talking about. Let's see what we get. On the 30 column, we again a column shift because the target hex is fire. No, that's not it. It has 3 combat units. So always remember that. That's very important when you have lots of units in the hex. And the second one was, it can be spotted by the firing units. So I believe, yeah, that should be not any problem to spot that hex. So yeah, he's going to bomb that hex with the big fat 30, juicy 30. Let's do it. Let me slide that over a little bit. All right, here we go. Oh, that is a 10. That is a 10 on the 30 column, and that is going to be an M2 result. An M2 result. This could get serious. Does it take a while to get the confirmation email when enlisting? It shouldn't. I don't think it should. All right, so first things first are the leaders. You always have to do your leaders first. So we're going to do the big boy leader, which again is called the Hauptsturmführer. So the Hauptsturmführer has a morale of 9, but this is an M2, which means we're going to add 2 to the dice roll. So let's see what we get. He rolls a 5 plus 2 is a 7, so this leader is fine. Now that is huge because he can now add his 1 modifier. Actually, yeah, he will add his 1 modifier to everyone else in the hex now. You see on the bottom right hand corner he has a 1 in the triangle. On the right hand side is his morale bonus. The left hand side is combat bonus. So he will add 1 to the Scharführer, which is basically a sergeant. So he goes from a 9 to a 10. Let's see what happens there. It was a 4. He is fine. So no effect so far. Now the units. We'll go left to right here. So we have the engineer, which is full strength engineer, which is normal. He normally has an 8 morale. Oh, wait a minute. We got to add 2. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, we got to add 2, but it's not going to matter because it was an M2. I almost forgot that. Right. So we rolled a 5 plus 2 is 7. Yeah, he was fine. We rolled a 4. Okay, so both leaders are fine. Now, the morales for the units. So the engineer all the way to the left has a morale again. Turn track. He has a morale of 8 because he's full strength. Close this out so it's out of the way. So he has a morale of 8. He gets plus 1 because of the Hauptsturmführer. So it goes up to a 9. But we're going to add 2 to the dice roll because it's an M2. Let's see what we end up with. A 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2 is 12. He had a 9. So here's the thing with Panzer Grenadier. You have different levels of damage you can take. So the first level is becoming disrupted. The second level is becoming demoralized. When you fail a morale check by 3 or more, you become, instead of disrupted, you automatically go to demoralized. So the engineer had a morale of 9 because of the leader bonus. He rolled a 10 plus 2 because of his M2 attack. So that goes to a 12. So that is 3 higher than his morale of 9. So he is going to go, this engineer unit on the very bottom is going to go right to, instead of disrupted, he is going to go to demoralized. That is not good. So he's demoralized. Next thing, we have the disrupted engineer. So disrupted engineer, right. He is same thing. It's going to be, I was thinking maybe when you're disrupted it's a -1, but no, you only get a -1 when you're demoralized. So he's an 8 plus 1 for the Hauptsturmführer. And so he's a 9 morale. Let's see what he rolls. He rolls another 10. Oh my gosh. And the whole German army's falling apart here. Good Lord. Now, because he was already disrupted, what happens because he was already disrupted and he fails by 3? I don't believe it does anything. It just, I mean, it makes him... A leader or unit that is already disrupted and fails another morale check becomes demoralized. A demoralized leader or unit that is again demoralized suffers a step loss. Or if it's a leader, they're eliminated. There is no extra effect if a demoralized unit or leader Fails a morale check by 2 or less. I think even though he's disrupted, I believe, I'm thinking in my head. Yeah, I think I agree with Tony. I think he just goes from disrupted to demoralized. They don't go anything worse than demoralized until they become demoralized. Once they become demoralized, these units are in sorry shape. So that's when you really have to worry. All right, so we have this last SCH unit all the way on the right-hand side. Again, 8 morale plus 1 because of the leader. It makes him a 9. We're rolling and adding 2 to the dice rolls. We roll the 5 plus 2 is a 7. He is fine. So these units down here, this one and this one, mark them activated. So that was a pretty good attack there. Actually, I believe the leader also becomes activated because he led that. Because he combined the attacks. The leader wouldn't have become activated if he didn't combine the attacks. They could have done them individually. Actually, yes, I believe the leader has to activate to. I'm not 100% sure on that. I would have to double check that. Anywho's, that is the German activation. They got to move up a whole bunch of units, but now they're sorry they did, I guess. So, we still have, don't forget, we still have some off-board artillery units sitting there waiting. Bah. And the Germans might want some payback here after that. The only problem with activating these guys is now the units can be spotted. If a leader can spot them, this leader bloop, can spot them 12 hexes away. So now this hex is spotted, so he's going to call in some artillery on that hex. Ha ha ha! Shoot at us, will ya? He says. Oh, you just wait. So the question is how many? He can do a 16, or a 32, or a 48. 42 seems like a really good. Does he want to put all of his eggs in one basket again? Or does he want to separate it around a little bit? I know what Tony says. Yes, the leader would have to activate, he says. All right. I know Tony's going to say, put them all, make them one big frickin' attack and go for it, you big wussy wuss. Let's see, do these flip over? Yeah. Fired. Okay. They're going to fire a big boy attack coming in. Read on this hex. 1008 is the hex number. And it's got some pretty good stuff in there. So let's roll in the 42 column. He actually, because he can see it. No, because this is off-board artillery. This is different. So they don't get to adjust for that. They also, is there 3 combat units? There is 3 combat units, so he will get the bonus for that. Should have thought about that when I was setting things up. Probably should have separated these two into different hexes. The only problem was this hex, if I hide the piece, oh wait, you can't see. But this hex actually has, let me move the units then. It actually has an entrenchment in there. So that is a -2 for the entrenchment. So it goes from the 42 column down to the 21 column. But because there is 3 combat units, it goes back up to the 30 column. So hopefully everyone's following along with that. Let's see what we get with the big boy attack here now. This is going to be a massive... Oh, and anytime you roll really low or really good, that means good stuff. You don't usually want to roll like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, these numbers usually don't really do anything. You usually want the 2, 3s, and 4s, or the 10, 11, and 12s. So the 3 is going to be brutal. So I believe we're on the 30 column. A 3 is an X result. So what is an X result, you might say? That is. So 1 step loss to 1 combat unit in the hex, except a close-topped AFV. So the armored fighting vehicles. And you lose a step loss to any 1 non-APC transport unit in the hex. The owning player decides which unit in each of a category A and B to take step losses. Step losses to absent unit categories are ignored. All close-stop AFVs in hex must make morale check. All other units in the hex must make an M2 morale check. Wow, that is a brutal attack there. All right. So, yeah, so X is going to be this wagon. So the wagon was there in case we needed to move any of these units. Like, if they were getting swarmed or something, we could have loaded them on and moved them out or moved them into town or whatever. But that sucker is gone. Boom, gone. Just blown up. Just blown up. Now, one of these units has to take a step loss. So 1 step loss to a combat unit in the hex. You cannot choose a closed-stop AFV. And then 1 step loss to 1 non-APC transport unit in the own and pointing hex. So one of these units is going to take a step loss, and that is going to be this mortar unit. How does it have? Actually, let me think about this. Does the mortar unit have a backside? I'm not 100% sure it does, actually. Cycle morale. If I cycle the morale to demoralized and I cycle it again, no, I think it is gone, actually. Yeah, because you see the regular combat units flip, right? And they put a stripe on them. I think this is gone. I think this is just... Yeah, Happy New Year, Tony. I'm like 10 minutes over, too, because we're going to leave at 4 o'clock today. So I've got to shower and everything, so I'm going to try and hurry this up. So thanks for coming by. Happy New Year to you, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow, too. So, yeah, this thing is going to be sent to the graveyard. Gone. Now, everybody else in the hex is going to have to take an M2 morale check. So, leader first. So, leader is a 9. Rolled a 7 plus 2 is a 9, so he just barely makes it. Now, he can give his infantry unit... he can give his other units in his hex the morale bonus of 1. And if we look at our turn track, they have a morale of 8 as well. Okay. So 8 for the first unit. 6 plus 2 is 8, because remember it's an M2 result. But he is okay. The 76 millimeter. Now we'll do the other 82 millimeter. He rolled a 3. So both of the other units are okay. I guess all the shells must just landed in that one section there. Whew. All right. Unfortunately, guys, I am going to save this. Save game. We'll save this as part 1 because actually I have got to go, as I was just telling Tony. So that was a couple of brutal artillery attacks. Let me tell you, that's what Panzer Grenadier is all about. Bombing and artillery and demoralizing your enemies as opposed to casualties and reducing them. It's all about demoralizing and making those units way worse than when they first started. So, Happy New Year to everybody if we don't get a chance to get another live stream before the end of the year. So, thanks to Peter and Matt White and Mike Anthony and iManatee and Tony's Board Life. DCB came by. Mike Anthony, E4 Earman, and everyone else that came by. I appreciate it, guys. We'll try and get the rest of this maybe tonight when we get home from dinner. We'll try and squeeze some more action in before the end. The first round's almost over. These guys are going to move up. We have the Soviets still can fire. They're all off-board artillery. But everybody else that's activated is pretty much activated. I can almost guarantee what's going to happen. I could probably just finish the turn because they don't have anybody to fire on these guys. They can just move up. Let's see here. What are these guys? They can move up 1, 2, 3. And he would probably not move up there. So he would move up here. These guys would move up 1, 2, 3. And then the artillery would probably... let's try and hit the heavy machine guns. Actually, they might want to sit back a little bit because they can actually shoot over these guys. We actually have some more heavy machine guns over there, so actually they might actually want to go 1, 2, 3 and move. Yeah, they'll move. They'll move there. That's fine. That's fine. So I think the Soviets would choose this hex to activate for their mortar or their off-board artillery, which is an 18. 18 goes to 16 column. And there is not actually 3 combat units in this hex. There's only 2, being smart. You know what? Maybe they go after this hex again with these demoralized guys. You know what? I'm not going to rush it, actually. Why can't I flip this over? Damn. Because, I would probably choose this hex. Well, let's see what we roll. Because if we roll low, it's not going to, or if we roll in the middle, it's not really going to matter. So let's roll. Roll to 4. God, it does matter. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? So 16 column. Was there any column? It does have 3 combat units, so it's going to go up to the 21 column. A 4 is going to be an M1 result. Okay. So an M1 result on this hex. Leader first. The Hauptsturmführer. The 901 leader. He has a 9. Oh, Jesus. He rolled a 9 plus 1 because it's an M1, so he is actually going to fail. So, all right, we're going to just have to make this quick. So he actually becomes disrupted. He can still add his modifier to units, but only in his hex. He could not do any adjacent hexes now. So then we'll do the other leader, the Scharfer. 8 plus 1 is a 9. I think he was a 9. He should be okay. Yeah. All right. So then we got the demoralized engineer unit. Yeah. He has taken a step loss. Wow. So we'll flip him over because he failed his check. So you can see that little bar that runs through his thing there that shows he's reduced. And then we'll do the other demoralized engineer. He rolls a 7 plus 1 is 8. He's okay. Actually, when you're demoralized, you lose 1 to your morale. So instead of 8, he would have a 7, but he gets plus 1 for the leader. So he goes back up to 8. So he just barely makes it there. And then we have the Charger 6-3 unit. And he rolls a 7 plus 1 would be 8, but he should be okay. But that, yep, I'm finishing. I know, I'm busting it. Yeah. So Oh yeah, we're leaving in 15, 20 minutes, so I've got to get going. But yeah, so step loss to the Germans, a step loss to the Russians. We got some demoralized and disrupted units out there. I think the Russians just lost a step unit, but nobody else. But that's Panzer Grenadier. Let's go ahead and save the game so we can keep it updated. We'll see everybody later. Murphy's Law, trying to do things quick to finish. You're going to end up having some kind of thing. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out. We'll see everyone later. Have a happy new year if we don't see you before the end of the year. Don't forget tomorrow, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be having the War Room special episode. We're going to be talking about our 10 games we're going to play next year. 10 games. And if you want to participate, you can by sending us your list of 10 games you're going to play next year. If you complete all 10 of your games and post an image on our ComSim World or Facebook group, you'll be entered into a drawing to win yourself a free war game at the end of next year. So, look for that information tomorrow or check our Facebook and ComSim World groups. See everybody soon. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.